In the previous lesson, we created a project that had an array of data for a video collection. And in the first frame, we used the push method to push associative data consisting of title, category, year, director, rating, and cast for about, roughly 20 videos. And so there's quite a bit of code to do that. And it has to be exact in terms of being comma separated with a colon between the key pair, and our data in quotes and so forth. And it's fairly easy to make a mistake when you're typing all that in, and it is time consuming to do that. So here's a little trick that I use when I have repetitive code like this, particularly for a database or for a data collection. And I use this not only with ActionScript, but I use it in other languages such as VB and C# and Java. And that is to use Excel. So let me bring up my Excel project. And so here in Excel, I create a column list of my data. And in column A, I have my title, my category, the year, the director, the rating, and the cast. And then above that, I started with simply the word title, category, year, director, rating, and so forth. But then I began to think about concatenating all these together with a formula. So I started with cell A4, which is the name of my array, which was master list, dot push, a parenthesis and a left curly bracket. And I'm going to concatenate to that my category of title with a colon and a quote. And then I'm going to concatenate my data for that title, concatenate in the next column the category name preceded by a quote, a comma, the name of my new category, in this case happens to be a name category, a colon, and a quote. And then I'm going to add action to that. And that's going to be concatenated with quote, comma, year, colon, quote, the year, followed by quote, comma, director, colon, quote, the director. Then I do the rating, finally the cast, followed by the data for the cast, and then what I want to end with, which is going to be a quote, right curly bracket, right paren, and a semicolon. And I simply come over to my first cell over here in column G, and I use a concatenation formula with the ampersand. Now notice that some of these I have $A, $4, so as I fill this thing down or copy this formula down, it's going to retain this cell. It's not going to be relative, it's going to be an absolute reference. So I want that to be an absolute reference, followed by another absolute reference, and then my data, which is an A6, absolute reference of $B, $5, followed by B6, and so forth. So wherever we see the $B, $5, that's not going to change. And the result is, in my row here, is I'm getting the statement that I want of all of the concatenated values resulting in a comma separated associative list for pushing my value onto the array. Then all I did was simply select the cell, grab the little fill down box in the bottom right hand corner, drag down, and it's going to copy that to all these other cells, getting the data in each row, but maintaining my absolute values of master list.push, title, colon, quote, quote, comma, category, and so forth. Once I've done that, I simply grab all these values. I'm going to copy, and then I go into Flash, and I'm just going to bring up a new action here, and I can paste. And there is my comma separated data that is being pushed onto my array. And the nice thing about then using Excel is I can make sure that all my data is in the correct format. That I'm not lacking anything. And of course, as I start to add new values, like in cell E for rating, it's going to give me the default value that's already there. So that's just a great tip for using Excel to write these longer lines of code and trying to avoid making typographical errors, but also speeding up the process.